Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Swiss Army Man. So I actually saw this movie way earlier this week on July 4th, and I debated on whether or not I was going to review it, just because typically if I can't get it up at least on the weekend of release, I'll let other people review it. I know you've seen it all. But this one has really stuck with me. I've really been pondering it. I've really been thinking about it all week long since I've seen it. And it's a bit of a slow weekend here on my channel, so I thought, you know what? I need to review Swiss Army Man because it surprised me and I really found it to be a delightful small film. So this had a ton of buzz coming out of Sundance, but I was very skeptical and wasn't actually sure I even wanted to see this, mainly because it was dubbed as the farting corpse comedy, and despite what some people seem to believe and will tell you, indie does not equal quality, and outrageous and shocking does not equal quality and artistic as well. But this movie was so much more than just the farting corpse comedy. First of all, the performances were simply amazing. I thought Daniel Radcliffe was wonderful in this movie. He makes a lot of these weird little artsy films, and I think it's been an interesting ride to watch his career, but again, he's making a weird little movie. His performance is so fantastic in it, though. He plays this character very well when he's dead, but he plays him with so much heart and so much humanity when we get to actually experience who this character is. Paul Dano also was fantastic. To watch the emotional development of his character throughout the film was simply amazing, and I just thought both characters really sold it, and without their strong performances, this movie really could have gone into ridiculous territory. But we cared about these two characters, we cared about their story arcs, we cared about their journey, thus we cared about the film. But also, the writing was really spot on and fantastic. There is so much humanity about a dead body, and that is what is really amazing. They injected so many sophisticated themes about psychological needs, about loneliness and depression, and how that really presents itself, and about actually believing and not ignoring signs and not ignoring people just because they're dealing with depression or they're dealing with other mental issues, or something like schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder, which I do think this film also goes into. They aren't to be discounted. They need to be listened to. They need to be considered. They're still humans, and shockingly, they still have something to say. They still have something to contribute to this world. Plus, I think it also condemns society on writing off people who are different than the norm. We just write off their ideas, we write off what they're saying, it can't be true, just because it isn't what we've seen before or it isn't what we believe. And I thought that was a very sophisticated, wonderful message. And really, this movie is just a big, beautiful metaphor of all of those issues jumbled into one, but none of its ideas and none of the heart in those issues is lost, even though it is actually jumbling quite a few of those things. And I also think, for the most part, it's really funny. There are some shocking things that are done or said that you're just like, oh my gosh. But a lot of times those are funny as well. And the dark humor of it all was just fantastic. I thought it utilized dark humor to counterset the heart and the feeling that you get very, very well. However, I did have a few problems with the film. For one, the farting parts, I found a little bit excessive and ridiculous. There are parts in the movie where it just gets so graphic with the farting sounds that I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can sit through this. There are parts of the film where the farting actually moves the plot along and is used as an actual device in the film. And then there are parts where you're just like, oh gosh, can we stop this already, please? There's also some other gross out humor that I didn't love and was like, oh, I don't know, okay, I can't watch the screen. But really, those moments, they start the film and they kind of happen near the end of the film, and they're used as jokes, and I don't really like bodily humor jokes. So for the most part, we get it out of the way in the beginning, and then at the end it has a little bit more meaning, a little bit more substance, so you're okay. It is still ridiculous at the end as well, but yeah. Overall, I just felt this to be extremely heartfelt experience. You really experience something in that middle, the entire second act, and really the second half of the first act and the first 2/3 of the final act. You experience such a heartfelt movie that I don't know I've actually felt in any other film so far this year. It presented wonderful ideas, it presented great emotional depth, and empathy when it came to these disorders, these diseases, these problems that people are dealing with on an everyday basis, but seem to somehow get overlooked. So overall, I definitely say seek out Swiss Army Man. It's probably playing at a small theater, a little art house type theater, but it's worth the price of admission. I really think that you'll get something out of this film. You might get a laugh if you find those crazy things of humor funny, but you're also going to feel some great heartwarming moments. And I think you'll be thinking about this film long after you've watched it, so don't skip over it, I promise. It's definitely an experience, whether you end up liking it or not. So, that has been my review of Swiss Army Man. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, joining on the discussion, have you heard of Swiss Army Man? Have you already seen it? If you have, what did you think? If you haven't, will you dare? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!